to let go. Meaning, let go of ideas that you are having for too many years already. Let go of your opinion. If you realize the other opinions are also good. So meaning, let go of what you try to keep all the time. We don't like change. The average human doesn't like change because it already took so many years to build all of this up. So why should I change it? It's good. That's why to change something about all of this, for me, it takes strength because it has something to do with you must let go of a part of you. But that's exactly the point. If you do not let go, well then I'm not always sure if carrying on an old identity into the future is working or not. Just as our world and our earth and all the technological advancements are changing, I also think we humans need to be able to adapt according to the changes that's happening, meaning also sometimes changing our lifestyle, adapting towards to it, changing our body, changing our ideas, changing our views, and that takes strength because it always has something to do with letting go of what you know already. Number one is the good observation that distraction is happening, meaning that your awareness, I make it as a picture, inside of our body sits awareness. And in the moment where our body becomes active, for example, when we wake up, this awareness from the inside has 5 gates where it can just leak out, let's say. It leaks out through the eyes, it leaks out through the ears, it leaks out through the nose, through the tongue in sense of taste, and through the skin in terms of like physical sensation. So whenever you realize that one of these gates is active, you're too much caught into looking what's out there. You're too much lost into the music. You're too much lost into the food smells so good or tastes so good or so. Then it just means time to bring the awareness back, which means the literal practice of just sit down, don't move, and breathe. Why breathe? Because the breathing is happening inside of you. So that means this is the way of how to bring back very quickly the awareness into yourself. It's like right now, we can talk about the airships and about the wars and about everything, but in the moment where I say, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing in, no matter where your thoughts have been before, in the moment where you say to yourself, I'm breathing in, it's directly back, no matter what. Why we say the breath has so much power? Because it's so direct, because you're not breathing out there. Breathing is an exchange. Observing when your awareness is getting lost. And then second of all, having an anchor to bring it back. And then continuously to practice, which means calming practices, meditative practices to just calm yourself down, to catch yourself back in order for you to more and more get a better sensation and feeling of yourself when the awareness is about to leak out again. How I see AI is, it's a current state of technological advancement that we are having now in our world. Just like we had always technical advancements in many different areas of human history. So ultimately for me what I see is the technology by itself, I don't see it as a threat. For me it's always who is in possession of that technology and what is the intention behind the usage of it. And this goes for many things. Therefore it's the same that I, for myself at least, would apply now to AI. It can of course simplify, make things that before you have spent a lot of your lifetime to somehow figure out, well now you just make it a little bit more quicker. But the question is, quick is not always good. In some circumstances and use cases, AI is good. In other cases, it might not be the proper way to leave it to an artificial intelligence. I don't know what the future is going to bring. I don't know how it's going to affect us. But the only thing that I can always suggest is, as long as there are still human beings on this earth where the blood is running through the veins, there are still a lot of unsolved questions that all cultures and all generations have always asked about. ourselves. And if the world out there is getting too crazy, then just return back to that very, very simple question and figure out, what are you, who are you? And then everything else out there is forgotten, because then you are entering into a world which is different. So why sometimes these type of topics or whatever pop up on your phone, on your life, it's because somewhere along the line, maybe it has become time, or you have asked the question. That's why now you receive the message. That's why you receive the option. You can still click it away. But this is the thing. You want to have an answer, you need to ask. This is why I don't know what people should ask.
If I look at all the philosophies or many of the religions, many of the theories and concepts that are existing in this world right now, everywhere I see that there is some truth in it. All of them. But for me, the question is always, what if all of them are correct? There must be like a bigger view. It's bigger than Stoicism. It's bigger than Buddhism. It's bigger than Shaolin. It's bigger than a philosophy. And what is the biggest, I think, is the life itself. Buddhism is talking about, let's say, life. Stoicism is talking about life. Christianity is talking about the life. They all talk about life. So what it means for me is the most important in everything is the life. It's not the theory. It's not the concept. It's not the philosophy. The biggest teacher is this lifetime. And in this lifetime, you can just observe for yourself, what is it that you can feel? And then you were studying the Stoicism, for example, but you are missing the physicality. It doesn't mean that Stoicism is wrong. It only means that Stoicism is limited to a specific area. It doesn't expand until the physical layer. What I am looking for is the way, how can I look into the world? What type of perspective can I use that helps me to understand about my mental, to understand about my emotional world, to understand about my physical world, to understand about the relationship between people, the relationship between an individual and a group. So there are so many more layers in this life existing that it's just very, very difficult to condense all of this into one theory. Because this life is not about a theory. This life is about, you need to live this life. And whatever helps you to live this life in the best possible way, I think this is the important part. The discipline is necessary because you are doing something even if you don't like it. It's the same like in the morning when the alarm is ringing. Let's just say normally you wake up at 6. Try out tomorrow, wake up at 5:30, half an hour earlier. Normally your body is going to tell you, I don't like this. Okay, it's no problem. You know you don't like it, but still you're gonna do it. And it's exactly that half an hour now, from 5:30 until 6, where you are only investing that energy into yourself. So make very clear to yourself, even if there is something that you don't like, but you still take this challenge right now, you're still gonna do it. There's no excuse. You don't like it, doesn't matter, just do it for some time. What I think is useful to learn a little bit is, in this lifetime, it's not always gonna happen that you're gonna meet people, meet situations, and meet a life that you like. You cannot always choose if you like something or not. The only question is, what are you gonna do when something happens and you don't like it? And the only way is you need to keep going and make yourself stronger. Let's put it like this. So that means don't take liking, disliking, want, don't want. Don't make this to the basis where you're taking your decisions from. I like, that's why I do. I don't like, I don't do. It's not working like this, because this lifetime is not just about that you can wish something and it's gonna happen. There is one very, very interesting way of thinking about this also. to actually ask yourself, not what is it that you want, not asking what is it what I want. Ask yourself, for example, the question, how much sacrifice, how much pain, how much suffering are you willing to take in order to make your life become better? Because at the end of the day, this is going to be what is going to make the difference, because everybody wants to have a successful business. Yeah. Okay. Are you willing to work 14 hours a day to build up your company? And if somebody says 14 hours working, no. Well, you're not going to have your successful business. Are you willing to sacrifice the time that you're spending with the family in order to build up your business? Because 14 hours, you build up the business, 4 hours you're sleeping, that means 6 hours you have with the family. So are you willing to sacrifice these 6 hours, for example, to work more and build up your business? Well, and if you say no, well, then it's not going to happen. So the question is always, what are you willing to sacrifice? How much pain, how much suffering are you willing to take in order to make your dreams of whatever you want there to become real? So there is a routine that I'm regarding as being very, very helpful, which is, for example, when you wake up from the bed, don't check your emails, don't check your WhatsApp, and don't check your phone, first of all, okay? You wake up alone. So first of all, if you want, go into the bathroom, clean your face, and then if you like, have 1 cup of coffee or tea or warm water, doesn't matter. And then still stay with yourself and do meditation practice, reading exercise, or any Qigong exercise, yeah. Do something where you are still staying with yourself. Don't invest your energy already in something that is like not you. Don't write messages, don't make a phone call, don't go on the PC or anything like this. First of all, stay with yourself, invest some time in yourself, nourish yourself first. Eat some breakfast, okay? Maybe in your mind, prepare the day already in the mind a little bit, and then afterwards, you start to take the phone, you start to make the work. Then you are getting into action. It's like the action part is the summertime. The springtime, you are just preparing the action. You are not doing the action. And this is like a picture that I would say, rest for yourself. Keep the power in, keep the energy in. Just do the preparation work. Prepare your body. Prepare the body meaning eat properly, drink properly, and prepare your mind to also be, let's say, optimistic and positive to go through the day. Don't start the day negative. Don't start the day with a problem. Don't start a day if you don't feel nourished enough to do the work. Invest your lifetime in elevating the openness of the heart for you. This is the elevation. But how are you able to elevate? How do you know at which level of elevation you are finding yourself? Well, this needs to be tested. What it means is, if you are still getting angry if somebody like takes your cup of tea or takes your cup of coffee away, I mean, it's still far, far away from being an elevated soul, from being an elevated being. If small things like this still bothering you, could happen that more and more often you are just dropping something, you are losing something, people take something from you away. It always triggers the same level of your elevation inside of you until you master it, until you have come to the conclusion, okay, it cannot be. For the last 5 years, I'm exploding. Yeah, I'm getting super mad whenever somebody takes my cup of water. So how often will this repeat again until you learn the lesson? And when this happens, it's gone. But now something else comes. Now maybe you start having a relationship, but all the time you are confronted with jealousy. And then you just observe yourself what happens when you are acting upon jealousy. Mostly the outcome is not going to be one that keeps the relationship alive on the long term. So if jealousy is a problem that you carry from one relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, and then one day you are wondering, why are you not able to keep up a relationship? Well, this is another type of challenge. It's another type that tries to trigger how much are you internally elevated, evolved. How much have you matured? Have you grown inside of yourself? And the amount of tests, the amount of challenges, they are infinite ways how to test you. But one thing always stays the same. You need to find a way to overcome them. The only thing I realize is that I can be in two different states of the mind. I can be continuously mind-based, and whatever comes on my mind, this is what I am acting upon. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm going to act on it. So just right now, if I feel like, oh, I'm hungry, so then I follow up on that thought. I'm hungry, so that means I have to stand up. I walk somewhere, grab something to eat, come back here, eat. But another way, another state of the mind is simply that right now, for example, I'm talking with you. And of course, I can observe myself how maybe sometimes thoughts are popping up. The difference right now is that I am, first of all, not directly identifying with any of them. I know they have popped up, but they just have no relevance at the moment for the fact of that I'm speaking with you. This is at the moment what matters more to me than to eat or to drink something. But because I can see the thoughts popping up, this is why I can decide to not identify myself with it, because it has just come to my attention. This thought has only come to my attention, but that's it. Just because something comes to your attention doesn't mean you have to act upon it. So one thing is to hold on to the thought. This is already the first thing that many people sometimes do. A thought comes up and you actively actually hold on to it. The second, I call it mistake. Yeah, it's not the proper word, but the second trap you can do is, after grabbing it, you invest even more attention to what you have grabbed there, which means now you're starting to fuel this thought. You're giving energy, you're giving awareness to this one thought. And the more this energy is now flowing into that type of thought, well, the more it's going to carry you away. But the bottom line of living this life is that from morning till evening, we all have thoughts, but the message is 90% of all the thoughts are unnecessary. They don't have a relevance for something that you really want to do when you wake up. If I were to talk with you right now, I have set my mind, I'm going to be concentrated, we have this conversation, and all the thoughts that pop up in between, it's irrelevant. So I can see them coming and I can see them passing. And afterwards, when we have finished this conversation and any of these thoughts start to pop up again, then I have still time now to decide, do I want now to follow up on any of the thoughts or not? So that means suddenly you have control. You have control over your 24-hour stay. If you eat, you eat. If you talk, you talk. If you sleep, you sleep. If you make a movement, you make a movement. This is the way of life. Nowadays the problem is, you talk, you think about eating. You are eating, you think about sleeping. You are sleeping, you think about moving. You are moving, you think about reading. Okay? So for me, it's not, I don't want to be out of the body. The thing is, I don't want to be unaligned. This is what I don't want to be. Everything about me, I want it to be aligned. What I feel is what I say, is what I think, is what I do, is what I act upon. It's one way. It's not two options. I see when you start to see the glimpses of truth. When you see that the truth makes you feel free.
This is when you start to realize there is something I can do. Only one of these moments must come. And if you pay more attention to them, more of them will come. How long do you have to keep up the structure? Until you realize that you don't have to be the slave of your mind. In our approach, this is the beginning to freedom. To not be enslaved again only by your mind. Because the mind is way less than what you can become. Or the mind is way less than what you actually already are. But the mind is too dominant in many people's lives. So all of this structure here is for what? To realign and to give you a new perspective about how you should see the relationship between you and your mind. And the relationship is that you need to master the mind and not the mind is mastering you. These are two different ways. But ultimately, you will not need any type of external structure anymore. Once you have understood the core, once you have the essence, I think then all structure you can lay down. Discipline means you just do it, no matter what you think of it. You don't want to make it, you still make it. You want to stop the training, but you still make it. There is no excuse because you just simply have, in a way, the order. It is important, but there are many, many more things that you're able to work on. You can learn to become more patient. You can learn to live a life with less judgment. You can start observing more instead of judging. Start to live a more honest life, less lying to other people, less lying to yourself. It's not just discipline. There are questions, so what is the most important? Everything is important. Everybody in this world will have the chance and will have access to practice in self-mastery. There are many of these things which in the beginning make it maybe easy for you to get a feeling of security, get a feeling of safety, and because you are safe, you're able to open more up. But I think a good life is when you live this life to the fullest, regardless of where you are, regardless of in which life circumstances you find yourself in. There are so many things we cannot influence. Everybody needs to find something, to find stability in whatever life you're living there. And even if it's in the war zone, they still need to find something stable there. Maybe they will never be able to leave their country. But even for them, there is the chance to find something stable about them and to make something good from this lifetime. And may it even be that in this complete war zone, they still have their close bond between their families, between their brothers, something like this, something where they feel this gave me strength, this gave me power. Even something like this can lead to a good life. To the question, where do I start? Find something in your own life at the moment or in the last week that made you feel not okay. And then start investigating it. What was not okay? Which area is it? What was not okay there? And then you figure out what are the 2 points supposed to be that you want to balance there. And how do you know that something is not in balance or that something is not in harmony? You simply know because you don't feel well. Or there's something telling you this is not correct, or it should not be like this, or you don't feel well. Yeah? This is when you feel there's some disharmony. And sometimes, or oftentimes, is the balance between the expectations that you have towards persons, towards situations, towards things, and then the reality that you're meeting. If those 2 things are not somehow harmonized, if you don't find a way to make those 2 areas merge into one. You will constantly be in the struggle of this is how it should be and this is how it is. This is I want and this is I don't want. The first step is just to discover or look inside yourself and see what is there out of balance and what needs to be balanced. In order to find it inside of you and in order to be able to really go with your mind and ask yourself and investigate yourself, your attention must be with yourself. So that's why the first step again is try to not get distracted too much by outside stimuli. Go to a retreat. Make a retreat. Just retreat. Once the attention is there, and once you know it's there, now this attention is able to penetrate deeper. And you can start observing things about yourself. And how do you do this? How do you get the attention to a retreat? How do you retreat? You can practice martial arts, you can practice Kung Fu, and you can practice Qigong in such a way that you will realize that all these practices are the perfect methods to exactly spend time with yourself. You realize for yourself when we were having the hard training and you were pushed to your limits, in the moment where you are reaching the limits, you don't have time to listen to the birds singing. You don't have time to think about any problems. You don't dream about any movie and you don't dream about any holiday. The only thing you care about is what and how can you make something with yourself. Concentrate more, tense more up, stay more focused. It is something you are figuring out for yourself, how to maintain this concentration. But the reason why you made it is because you made some Kung Fu, because you made some training. So you use the training method, you use the Kung Fu, you use the Qigong in order to get back to yourself. And this is why the Kung Fu and the Qigong are two very, very helpful methods in order to get access again to yourself. You bring out a very gentle and nice person about yourself. You're gonna benefit from it. People around you gonna benefit from it. This is what you can do if you want to change the world. Change yourself first. Change the way how people around you feel. Then already you have made small impact. You don't need to change the world trying to fix the problems on the other side of the world. If at the moment you still have a lot of issues in your very close surroundings. Keep up this mirror in front of you and watch yourself and stop blaming people, like always searching for an excuse, searching for somebody, why he did this and he did that and they are all responsible. I feel so bad. Well, they don't feel bad, you feel bad. So it's nothing that they have a problem, you have the problem. I'm not under pressure, I don't put myself under pressure. And because I'm not under pressure, that's why I can just look inside myself and see if I have the answers or not. Because sometimes I don't have answers to everything. Gratefulness, thankfulness, compassion, love. Sometimes those four we are also regarding as qualities of the heart. So how do you know that you have this type of quality? Because you feel it. And where do you feel it? It's amongst the strongest feelings a human can have. From where would I say does it radiate? From the heart, from the center. And what is love? It is a massive expansion from the center, which is embracing everything. Some people say love is God, okay? Makes sense, fits. It expands from the center and embraces everything, which means it's everywhere. The ultimate truth of this universe is ultimate love, okay? So what is this feeling of love? You feel connected. You feel connected to humans. You feel connected to this place. You feel connected to the nature. You even feel connected to people you don't know. Even if they live on the other side of the world, you feel connected to them. You feel that on the earth we are connected. You feel in our solar system we are connected. You even feel, in case there would be some type of beings on the Mars, you even feel for them. Because the connection doesn't end. And now, because you're connected, and because you're connected now, and you see somebody is crying there, and you see somebody is suffering there, and you see somebody has a hard time, it doesn't matter because of what. You feel also something inside this connectivity where you would actually like to raise all of them up, to get out of that state where you see them in. How does now forgiveness, forgive, let go, forgive, let go, forget. Forget about what? Let go of what? Forgive, forget, and let go of what is stopping you from connecting. What is stopping me from connecting? Watching through the world only through this body. This is what stops you from connecting. Thinking that this is everything that matters. You yourself are stopping you from connecting. The more think this complete life, this complete universe is only about you, the less you're connected. Know where you are standing. Accept the way, accept the difficulties, accept the limitations, accept the pain, accept the things you could not do on the first day. You are not good enough in this area, okay? Then at the moment, if I compare myself to others, it's true. This is how it is at the moment. So number one, in order that somebody can give you guidance and that you are also really progressing, make sure for yourself first that you accept where you are standing. You accept all the mistakes that you have done until now, and you accept the consequences that you need to live with at the moment based on everything that in the past maybe you did that you regret. Make it one time, make it become really strong, start crying, whatsoever. So many ways of releasing this. Yeah? But the first point is accept. Yes, life is unfair, welcome. Welcome in it. Boom. That's the starting point. And now from there, think first. How would I like to see myself in the future? Break it down into small steps that you think you can realize them. Don't make too big jumps, make them in smaller steps. And every day, ask yourself, the way how I am behaving right now, the things that I am doing right now, are they going to bring me here where I wanted to go actually just 1 week ago when I made the plan? And when you say, no, at the moment it's not bringing me there, change it. Yeah? If there is something that is in our hands, then it is the way of paying attention to this type of approach. You don't know where you're going to end. You don't know where this life is going to bring you. The only thing that we can do is to shape the direction. What you are going to meet along this way, along this journey, what you're going to meet when you walk that direction, you don't know. But it's about shaping just the direction, not shaping the goal. It's shaping the direction. And there are two directions. One, embracing more. One, separating more. The power lies in both. The power lies in both.